Hi guys. Now some of you know I'm actually housebound at the moment because we've just had a new addition to the family, a brand new baby boy. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't still practice your bushcraft skills. Now today I'm going to be showing you how to make charcloth using altoid tin, an old cotton t-shirt and my trusty old barbecue. So the first thing we need to do is prepare our tin by punching a hole in the lid, as you can see here. It doesn't want to be too big and it doesn't want to be too small. You need just enough in to let the evaporating gases escape, but not enough to let too much oxygen in. You don't want too much oxygen in because then it'll just burn, okay, and it needs to char. Once we have our tin prepared, we need to prepare a cloth. Basically you cut it into squares. Now I've used an old t-shirt here. It's going to be the first time I've actually tried to use this. Ideally you want 100% cotton or as close to it as you can get. I usually use an old tea towel, so this is the first time I've actually tried this t-shirt and I'm not sure what the composition is, so it's either going to work or it's going to fail spectacularly. As you can see, I've pre-cut this into rectangular squares, and the general rule of thumb is when you're cutting your charcloth is to figure out what size you want your end square to be and then double it, because it will reduce and shrink in size as all the impurities and all the crap in the cloth gets evaporated. Okay. And once we've prepared our tin and our cloth, we need to pack the cloth into the tin. I've seen a lot of demos online on YouTube and in blogs and things like that recommend packing your cloth in as tightly as possible. I've actually used that method and it does produce sort of usable charcloth, but you end up wasting about half of your cloth because it doesn't char properly, and that's basically just because the cloth is packed in so tight. There's no room for the oxygen to flow and to get a bit of a burn and to get everything charring properly. So I actually recommend that when you're packing your cloth in, you pack it sort of reasonably loosely, just to provide a little bit of airflow for the initial combustion to take place. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm just folding it in and packing it in, not too tightly at all, leaving plenty of room. And the lid of the tin has actually been bent out of shape slightly from hammering a hole in it. So you're going to have a sort of a small chamber above the cloth anyway, which will contain enough initial oxygen to get the combustion going, which is going to help a lot. Okay, so as you can see, it's not packed in too tightly at all. There's nothing to stop you making charcloth in batches. You don't need to get your whole t-shirt and cram it all inside one tin. So I think that'll do okay. Okay, so once all your prep's done, you need to take it outside and throw it on the barbecue. As is always the case when you try and do these things without planning ahead, 5 minutes after I put the tin on the stove, I run out of propane. So I'm using my trusty Brunton Vapor-AF as a backup. It should work just as well. In fact, it'll probably work a lot quicker because it has the direct heat. See the flames on top, but that's actually the paint on the altoid tin that's burning, it's not the contents. Okay, it's been back on the burner about 5 minutes now. As you can see, there's still gases coming out of the hole, that flame's still going strong. We can blow it out, but then we still get plenty of smoke coming out of the hole, and the flame should reignite any second. There we go. So it's not quite ready to take off the burner just yet. Okay, as you can see now, the flame is starting to die. This means we've almost burnt out all the gases that were left in the cloth, and we'll always the time to take it off the heat. And cover up the hole. It's been on the burner for about 10 12 minutes now. Okay, so as you can see, all the flames have gone out, there's no more smoke or fumes coming out, which means it's time to take it off the heat. The Charcloth's ready. And then we need to seal the hole to make sure there's no oxygen getting into the tin. And then we just wait for it to cool down. But everything should be ready now. So let's see how it turned out. Absolutely perfect. Yeah, looks like some fantastic Charcloth. Obviously we'll take it outside in a minute and give it a try with the flint and steel. That looks very promising indeed. I guess running out of gas on the propane barbecue was a blessing in disguise. Whenever I've tried to do it on a barbecue before, it's taken anywhere up to 3 hours to get decent Charcloth using the Brunton Vapor portable stove. It took about 20 minutes. So that direct heat certainly makes a big difference. But as you can see, the real trick is to wait for the flames and the vapours and all the smoke and everything to stop. That's a good indication that all the gases and everything, all the impurities have been removed from the cloth. Obviously I'm storing my Charcloth here in a Ziploc bag because Charcloth is very messy. The charcoal gets everywhere. Okay, so let's take it outside and see how well we did. The proof will be in the pudding. I actually have the Charcloth weighted down with a small stone just to stop it from blowing away because it's very light now. But we should just take one spark and then we should get an ember. And there we go. You see? The ember's glowing. And that's all it would take to light our tinder. I actually think this is the best batch of Charcloth I've ever made. It came out really well. Great stuff. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope you found this useful. As always, any questions, queries, problems, feel free to drop me a line.